So pressure, if we're going to pressure and we pressure 5-man pressure versus a 1-back 2-by-2 formation, here's how running our man-free coverage is going to work. And we are a split safety system. Again, I talked about it in the first one a little bit. We are a 3 safety system. So we have a weak side safety, a strong side safety, and a free safety. We try to utilize these 3 guys to handle the inside stuff. And of course, our corners will be locked on the outside. So in this particular set versus a 2-by-2 formation, okay, we have called and identified strength this side. The Sam is going to be outside leverage, man-to-man on number 2. The free safety is what we would consider the point guy. And the weak side safety is going to be outside leverage on number 2. Because we play so much too high and roll to things a lot, the weak side safety and the free safety have to communicate to each other. And you'll see why when we get to the 3-man or to a 3-by-1 set. But so these 2 guys will actually communicate and say, I got point, which means this guy is telling him I got point. I'm going to be the whole guy, and he is going to be the man-to-man player on the number 2. So we play the inside leverage with the corners. We can play off or press. With these safeties on the number 2s, again, it's outside leverage. We have help on the inside. So what we will actually do from a technique standpoint is we are going to, on the snap of the ball, get these guys to bounce. And we actually will switch our staggers. So our base stance is inside foot up, outside foot back. When we are playing outside leverage man, we use what we call a catch technique for those inside receivers, because we want to be super aggressive with them, knowing that we've got some help over the top. So we're going to bounce them and we're going to switch their stagger, which means their outside foot is going to come up and their inside foot is going to drop back. And we will actually tilt a little bit. We're just trying to give the visual appearance to the receiver of, hey, the path of least resistance is inside of me, okay? Most receivers will try to take the path of least resistance. So they will bounce, all right? They will switch their stagger, and they will literally try to catch that guy as he's coming up the field, get hands on if he can. If this route was to release outside right now, all right, if this is an outside release, then he's just going to jump it and he's going to run. But we're trying to get this guy to take an inside release, in which we will close down on that hip now and be a chase player, okay? And we will try to funnel these routes inside and allowing the free safety to be able to read the intention of the quarterback and play to those 2 number 2s. Meanwhile, in the box, okay, out of the 4-2 concept, we've got 2 linebackers. What do we do with them? In this particular situation, we've decided we're going to use it as pressure. The remaining back who is not pressuring, and we can do any kind of pressure here we want. I have this guy drawn up here, but it could be this guy or this guy, and we could bring him A gap, we could bring him B gap, we could bring him C gap. We can do anything we want, okay? The guy who is not blitzing would be a man-to-man player on the remaining back. A face call would be in play here. This is where if we have a defensive end here and he is the C-gap player, and this back would happen to do this, okay, he will flare control that. This linebacker who has a man-to-man will chase. Once he realizes this guy has flare control, all right, he will then insert and take his blitz. Why do we do that? Because sometimes it can be challenging. Let's just say this linebacker was the one blitzing, and this linebacker had him man-to-man. He'll never cover that coming out. So he will chase until he sees that flare control is taken, and then he will insert himself. Okay, so the simple concept of this, guys, we're talking about why to utilize versus the spread. Okay, well, in this particular situation, we're saying we want to bring some pressure. We can bring the pressure from one of these 2 guys anywhere we want. We've got 5 secondary players that are going to lock up on the quicks. Okay, the remaining linebacker who is not blitzing is going to take the remaining back, and we are going to simply bring a 5-man pressure, play outside leverage, try to funnel inside to our help, and we're going to play some man-free coverage. We'll play off or we'll play press. Okay, the next reason would be for a quarterback spy, and I'll get to the three by one in a little bit. The next option why a man-free concept can be good against a spread is a QB spy concept where we would utilize a combo call. This is great for a quarterback that is dangerous. Okay, you don't want to be in straight man coverage because everybody's turning and running and you're bringing pressure and that quarterback beats one guy and everybody else is turning and running the other way with their backs to the quarterback. You want to play aggressive man coverage. You want to be tight on the receivers, but you want to protect yourself against a good quarterback. So you run a spy. So here it is again against a one back 2x2. So from a coverage standpoint on the outside, nothing changes here. All right, we're going to play outside leverage of the twos. We're going to play catch technique, trying to work it inside to the point guy. The corners are man-to-man. What we're doing now is we're taking the two inside linebackers, and instead of blitzing one of them, we're going to combo with them. We're going to combo the back and the quarterback. So if we get a concept where we get a mesh point like this, okay, this guy will take the quarterback coming out this side, and this backer will have the back coming this way. If that's in a run game. If it's a pass situation, okay, and this guy does decide to release, or he's just, let's say he just steps up and blocks, we utilize what we call a man hug technique. If I am man-to-man on a guy and he is in the backfield, I am going to approach him to hug him up for two reasons. Number one, it looks like we're blitzing, and now it looks like the back's got to stay in. He can't check release because he's thinking, okay, well, here comes the linebacker. I've got to block him. So we're occupying him. Number two, if they try a little bit of a slip screen, we can be up and protect that before the lineman can get onto us. Okay, but so again, let me just erase a line or two here so I don't confuse the heck out of you guys. All right, we're talking about a scrambling quarterback in this situation. So we're saying this guy steps up and blocks. I'm going to man hug him. He's in a pass situation, and now he decides that he's going to pull it down and he's going to run. This guy's job is to spy that quarterback, so he's going to put himself in a position to spy. If that quarterback scrambles outside, he's going to chase it down. If he scrambles outside, he's going to chase it down. So we will take these two guys and simply say combo, and we will work off of the quarterback and the back so that we've got somebody always paying attention to that quarterback. Okay, so that's the concept of using the man free in order to defend, keeping six in the box, defending the run with six in the box, or using a spy concept in order to protect against a scrambling quarterback. The other thing we will do is we will play man free with a hole concept. So this is where we would have a low robber and a high robber. This now, our linebackers would make a banjo call instead of a combo call. All right, we are now able to defend the shallow crossers and more easily defend some of the inside RPO routes. So here's how this would look. Again, banjo is the same concept in regards to reading off the back. So if this back was to present himself, whichever side he presents himself to, that linebacker is going to man hug him up. Now, instead of this guy spying the quarterback or being a blitz player, his job is to drop and get in the hole area here around that 5 to 6 yard mark. Okay, I talked earlier, one of the things that can be challenging in man-free coverages are these crossing routes here like this. Now, we've got the ability, all right, with a high hole guy, all right, usually you're going to get some type of a dig in behind this and a post. So we've got a safety who can play the high hole, and we've got a linebacker opposite the back who can play the low hole and try to disrupt these crossing routes to help these guys out and help these guys be able to chase and get on them.